Elizabeth Lohr and Angel Yang. And like Debbie said, we flew to California in June, and the girls attended Camp Couture in San Mateo. It was sponsored by a Bigger World Foundation, which, if you remember, I've taken a few trips with them and students. Each one of you has a brochure from the foundation, and if you look at the pictures, you will notice that every picture is our Manitowoc Public School students. This is a trip of a lifetime, but we're going to watch a video first, and then the girls are going to tell you more about their time and what they made at Camp Couture.
Roll tape.
Hello, my name is Angel, and I'm 13 years old from Washington Junior High. So this summer, I took a fashion trip to California, and in California, there were so many opportunities, and I got to learn a lot of unique tips and thoughts about fashion. But not only did I learn to sew and sketch, I learned culture, history, food, travel, English, surprisingly, and people skills. For a small city girl like myself, who's never really been out of the state, this was a very big experience for me. I'm glad I took this trip. I think this is going to help my long-term goals because it helped me realize that I like travel, and for my future I had a lot of ideas of what I could be, but now my perspective has changed over to fashion. So one of my top bucket lists was to learn how to make pattern pieces from my own thoughts and ideas. I think this will help me open more doors to what I want and how to make things from scratch, so I don't have to buy pattern pieces from the store and borrow people's ideas from the pattern packets. Personally, it really helped me get my sense of reality and to be on my own and to be independent, but also to learn from others who know more and to work with them. This actually connects with my learning to my favorite part. It was to learn all of this and take an experience and the reality of this world. Another part of my favorite experiences was to see the historical sightseeing and trying out new food, and to learn about the western part of America, especially the hotels we were staying in. They had really good scrambled eggs. Anyways, continuing. The camp felt like a school, but like a specialized school for sewing, almost similar to a college and a university. And that was a really good experience for me because I want to go to a college or university too. And also going through this camp, it really helped me express myself more and to open myself to others, because before this, I was a really, really shy person, and I couldn't go up in front of people and say my name and to introduce myself. But now I'm more keen on talking to other people, and in the real world, you're going to need these skills, and it really helped me. And the people there were amazing. I definitely think that my first flight was scary, but exciting. I felt super anxious, but in the end, it was all worth it. My thoughts weren't on the flying, it was how it would be when I would get there. I had thoughts about arriving to California and thinking about how the people there are and how different everything would look like. But it worked out in the end. I had a lot of learned skills and fun at the same time. Thinking about this overall was just a special event, a turning point that I could never forget, something I can never overwrite. That's okay. I loved it as is.
Angel made this skirt that she's wearing. This was her first one. She designed it herself on her sketches, and from there they created a pattern, and she made it. And then this is her second top, and she has gloves and a little armband that she also created out of her own sketches. All right, next is Elizabeth Lohr.
Alright, so this is my first time being in front of such an adulthood audience. If that makes any sense. I'm really nervous right now. I'm gritting my teeth as I speak, but here I go. As Beverly already said, my name is Elizabeth, and I don't have one of those cool or cheesy hooks to gain your attention, but I have a story to tell you guys. When I was told that we're only given a few minutes to tell you guys about my Hollywood experience, I like to call it, because when I think of California, I only think of Hollywood. But sadly, we were in San Francisco. It was still awesome, but not the Hollywood side. I couldn't possibly tell you guys my Hollywood experience in just a few minutes. But if I were to sum it up in a word or two, it would have to be future. Because never in a million years could I imagine my future to be setting foot in California, somewhere so far from my home. I'm thinking, this is crazy. And it really is. Small town girl living everyone's dream. This trip helped me acknowledge the basics of sewing I gained over the years of training in junior high and onto high school. I watched and witnessed pure talent draw and make patterns according to my desired designs, and that was amazing also. I couldn't believe it. It's crazy to think that childhood dreams could become my future. It has developed into something of interest, that even pursuing it won't be enough. Instead, taking my own actions into making 2D art into life-size 3D art. It seems cliche and really scripted for me to say. This trip has impacted my long-term goals. But it's safe to say it has. It really has. I could say, oh, but who knows? I could be president, right? But that's another story for another time. I never truly gave myself credit for the great things that I can accomplish, the great things that I have accomplished. But future comes with taking chances, creating your own opportunities, life-changing turn of events such as this trip, knowledge and wisdom. I wake up every morning thinking my future is perfect. Yes, including those challenges to come. And it's a privilege by the everyday inspirations I encounter and meet, such as friends, family, school, and most importantly, prayer. I can say, I want to become a designer, all I want, but we all know actions speak louder than words. I'm going to chase my dreams so far out the front door, only so that I can come back with more than I started with. My learning doesn't stop at accepting self-talent, but revisiting experience. My experience from this trip was feeling like a real designer with millions of dollars, maybe even more, with just my vision and a sewing machine. This kind of thinking is brave, too brave, but I'm courageous. Sewing doesn't have an end. During this trip, stopping to eat lunch seemed almost wrong, because anyone's concentration is driven by motivation. I don't stop. I don't let myself stop because I just want to keep going. I call this passion. I say this because the fashion and design camp found value in me before I could acknowledge its value beforehand. This is experience. Nothing is better than carrying this kind of value through life. When I heard this camp, at first it was just an idea. Flying from Milwaukee out to California all in one day was way out of my league, my biggest imaginations. I couldn't even think about it. I mean, I've never been out of the state. Neighboring states like Minnesota and Illinois, but never so far from home. It wasn't real until I began grasping Beverly's hands, anticipating takeoff, you could say. My future is experience, because I now love plane rides, because I now have an even greater passion to create my new line of clothes, and maybe I'll call it Elizabeth. And for the girls, you guys probably heard of clotheslines called Elizabeth before, but those aren't mine. The future will be mine. Like I said, I now have a story to tell. My motivation and my experience is my future. Thank you. During the trip, I was really surprised at what I was able to do. Within a week, I sewed this asymmetrical skirt. It's very popular on Pinterest nowadays. I was really excited that I made it. I couldn't wait to wear it. I've worn it once or twice already, and it was just washed. So, and I also made this vest. It is also very popular on Pinterest. I get most of my ideas from Pinterest. I bounce back and forth from idea to idea, from fashion designer Elisa to my own designs. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you so very much. How exciting that must have been for the two of you. Congratulations. And does anyone have any questions? Anything? Okay. All right, well, thank you very much for sharing that with us. It was really inspiring.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you.